Malaysia currently faces a very serious health and obesity epidemic that is only becoming increasingly worse. This is because the media, food industry, and government deliberately spread false and biased information about the food we consume. Unfortunately for the world, his study gained tons of media and has become a major influence on dietary guidelines and the way we eat. Gluten-free foods are all the rage in the West, and for good reason too. However, in my survey, I found that 87% of my respondents still consume gluten. So, why should you go gluten-free? According to Dr. Alessio Fasano, director at the Center of Celiac Research in Massachusetts, humans are actually not meant to consume wheat. Gluten was only introduced into our diets about 10,000 years ago with the advent of agriculture. Zonulin is a protein that is present in every single one of our guts. It is released in two instances, when there is bad bacteria in the small intestine, as well in the presence of gliadin, which is a component of gluten. The problem with zonulin is that it causes the cells lining our intestinal gut to open up. So when this happens, all sorts of particles can move into and out of our gut. So when we consume gluten, zonulin is released and our guts become more permeable. This is a bad thing because our immune system sees these particles as foreign invaders. Therefore, it launches an immune response, and this causes local inflammation. Inflammation anywhere in the body is a very, very bad thing. In minor cases, it can cause things such as food allergies, acne, and bloating, headaches, migraines, and in more major cases, it can cause inflammatory diseases such as multiple sclerosis and rheumatoid arthritis. So maybe next time if you're bloated or if you've got acne, maybe you should try cutting out gluten from your diet for about 30 days and see if this works. Some experts believe that it might be components of the wheat kernel itself that causes negative effects. Others also believe that it is the modern way of processing and preparing wheat-containing products. Way back in the day, our ancestors used to soak and ferment wheat kernels before using it in their cooking. This essentially broke down the gluten and removed the toxins from wheat and made it more digestible for us. However, the modern day of preparing wheat is called the roller milling system. In this process, this results in highly refined wheat that is basically devoid of any nutrients. It is a cheap process that makes the mass production of wheat-containing products more widely available. Processed foods are also considered hyper-rewarding and super palatable. This means that they are purposely manufactured to be super rewarding for the brain, and therefore it keeps us wanting more and can lead to overeating. In his book, The Owner's Dilemma, Michael Pollan mentions that natural selection has predisposed us to the taste of sugar and fat. This is because these foods contain the most amount of energy per bite. However, in nature, we hardly see the concentrations of these nutrients that are in the processed foods. Food manufacturers do this by manipulating the amount of salt, sugar, fat, and food additives in these processed foods in a manner that taps into our brain's reward system and surpasses our body's natural satiety signals and appetite regulation. This is called the bliss point. See, this is a natural potato that comes from nature, and this is a man-made product which they claim is made from potatoes. However, it is much easier to overeat a pack of chips than it is to eat an actual potato. I mean, have you ever binged on potatoes? I'm sure you've binged on potato chips, but never on potatoes. Our diet also contains an excessive amount of processed food. A major problem with processed foods is that they contain high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is a sweetener that most food companies choose to use because it is cheap and easily available. However, it has an even uglier side compared to normal sweeteners. High fructose corn syrup is metabolized very differently in our bodies because it contains a high amount of fructose. It goes directly to the liver. And when fructose is ingested in large amounts, it can put a huge strain on the liver, which can lead to fat gain, especially around the abdominal area, as well as high triglycerides. In his lecture, Sugar the Bitter Truth, Dr. Robert Lustig mentions that about 30% of the fructose we consume is turned into fat. Furthermore, a high intake of fructose can also lead to fatty liver disease. A high consumption of fructose also shuts down satiety signals in our body. Leptin is a hormone that basically tells our brain when we've had enough to eat, and it helps us regulate our appetite. Studies have shown that a high intake of fructose can shut down leptin signals in the body, which can lead to overeating, fat gain, and essentially obesity. The artificial ingredients in processed foods also pose a significant threat to our health. Most processed foods contain preservatives to extend the shelf life, colorants to give it an appealing color, texturants to give it a nice texture, as well as flavorings to give it a specific flavor. Some of the most common ingredients are maltodextrin, guar gum, soy lecithin, as well as corn syrup. These ingredients have been shown to cause cancer, hyperactivity in children, weight gain, and obesity, and much, much more. Furthermore, most of the meat we consume also come from unhealthy sources. Most conventional meat are raised on a diet rich on grain, antibiotics, and hormones, and the animals are usually raised in filthy and horrific environments called catfalls. Besides grain, their diet also consists of anything that can add bulk and fatten them up in the smallest amount of time. This includes fatted meal, chicken litter, and byproducts of slaughtered animals. This diet is far from their natural diet, which only consists of grass and forage. Therefore, these animals are given antibiotics to counteract their unhealthy diet and to prevent them from getting sick. Feeding animals antibiotics can have a very bad effect on our health as well as the environment. It can cause widespread antibiotic resistance in human bodies, which makes the treatment of diseases much more difficult. Furthermore, it is also proven that animals fed on a diet rich in grain has a higher omega-6 content compared to omega-3 content. And as I said before, a high intake of omega-6 can cause a lot of inflammation in the body. A better alternative to conventional meat is grass-fed or free-range meat. Free-range animals are usually raised on small local farms and are allowed to graze on pasture. Antibiotics are not needed to treat these animals because they are raised in open spaces and subsist on their natural diet. According to a study published in the British Journal, grass-fed meat also has a better omega-3 to omega-6 ratio compared to conventional meat. Therefore, the meat these animals produce is also much more nutrient-dense and healthier for us to consume. Weight Watchers, the South Beach diet, and the cabbage soup diet are just some of the fat diets that the media has promoted over the years. However, most of these diets are not supported by science, usually involve starvation or restriction of some kind, and only cause quick but temporary weight loss. Fat diets are just another way that the media and food industry capitalize on our insecurities.